Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into something I am absolutely pumped to share with you. You know how in movies, having a superpower is pretty much the coolest thing ever? Well, today we're looking at a text called The Outflow of Love, and it's basically a guide to unlocking a real-life superpower. It's all about how God's eternal love works in our everyday lives, when you're just navigating school, hanging out with friends, or dealing with family. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to just imagine for a second. A time when you were so incredibly happy, just so full of joy, that you literally couldn't keep it a secret. Like maybe you finally beat that impossible level in your favorite video game, or you got a brand new puppy. You didn't just sit quietly in your room, right? No way. You had to run out and tell everybody, your friends, your parents, maybe even your dog. Well, that feeling, that joy that is just so big it bursts right out of you, that's the exact kind of energy we're talking about today. Now, this text we're breaking down is a devotional. And if you're wondering, what exactly that means, it's basically a short daily guidebook. Think of it kind of like a quick morning huddle with your coach before a big game, or actually, it's more like a daily cheat code to inspire your faith and upgrade your actions. Instead of just giving you a list of boring rules, a devotional gives you this quick burst of inspiration to help you make way better choices and just have an awesome attitude for the rest of the day. Which brings us to our first section, discovering the devotional. So if we're going to have this incredible superpower level overflowing love in our lives, we kind of need to figure out where it comes from first. Does it come from, eating a ton of candy, winning a race? Nope. The devotional kicks things off with a super powerful quote that points to something way bigger. It says, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God." What's really fascinating here is that the very first spark of this massive love doesn't actually start with us. It doesn't come from us just trying really, really hard to be nice. The text tells us that the spark comes directly from God. He is the ultimate source of the superpower. All right, let's move right along to section 2, filling up with love. The text gives us this incredibly cool way to think about how this actually works. Just picture this. Your heart is a cup, and you're holding it right under a giant, never-ending water fountain. As the water pours in, eventually the cup gets completely full, right? But the fountain doesn't stop. So the water literally has to spill over the sides. The devotional explains the mechanics of this in 3 simple steps. Step 1, God's love fills your heart. Step 2, it upgrades your actions. Step 3, it overflows to everyone else. It's totally clear that this love isn't just some warm, fuzzy feeling you keep hidden away inside. It's an active, moving force that changes how you act and just spills all over your friends, your teachers, and your family. And this brilliantly illustrates a massive difference between regular, everyday love and the kind of love the text is talking about. See, worldly love is basically when we only love people who do favors for us, or we just care about me and mine. It's like saying, hey, I'll share my chips with you, but only if you let me play your video game. It's kind of limited. But God's love, the text describes it as being as broad as the world and as high as heaven. It means you're kind of people just because, not to get anything back. It is huge. Now, this text was written way back in the late 1800s, so yeah, it uses some pretty big fancy words, but let's translate those into a modern software upgrade for your attitude. First up, it modifies your character, which basically means it builds you into a stronger, better person. Second, it governs your impulses. You know that impulse to yell when you're super mad? This love helps you hit the brakes and control your temper. Third, it subdues enmity. Enmity is just an old school word for being enemies, so this helps you turn enemies into friends. And finally, it elevates your affections, meaning it helps you care about the things that actually matter. Oh, and check this out. The text drops this absolutely mind-blowing detail right in the middle. It says that when this love is our principle of action, like when we're actually doing these kind things, we are working in harmony with angel workers. How incredible is that? Literally, when you choose to sit with someone who's alone at lunch, or you help your brother or sister with their chores without even being asked, you are teaming up with angels. You're literally part of the same heavenly crew. So, what happens next? Let's check out section 3, the ripple effect. Have you ever tossed a rock into a totally still pond and watched those little circles of water ripple outward, getting wider and wider? Well, the text says that is exactly what happens when this superpower love spills out of us. A soul filled with Jesus' love automatically lends 3 amazing qualities to our words, our manners, and even our looks. Number 1 is hope. You literally make people feel more optimistic. Number 2 is courage. You help people feel brave. And number 3 is serenity. That's just a fancy word for peacefulness. Just by hanging around you, other people feel calm and safe. You actually change the atmosphere of the room. I absolutely love the imagery in this next part. The devotional says your words and manners, quote, throw out a bright ray of sunshine, and leave behind them a clear path toward heaven. Imagine you're walking into a super dark, creepy room, and suddenly someone turns on a massive flashlight. That is what your kind actions do for someone else when they're having a bad day. You light up their path. You make it so much easier for them to see where they're going. But who needs that bright ray of sunshine the most? The text tells us it's for fortifying those struggling against temptation. Sometimes your friends might be having a really rough day. Maybe they're tempted to cheat on a math test, or maybe tempted to be mean to someone on the playground. Your bright sunshine, your courage, and your good choices can actually give them the strength to say no to that bad choice. You become their ultimate backup.
So the crucial point is summarized perfectly when the text says, the expression on your face is a mirror of the life inside you. Your face literally tells the story of your heart. If you're angry and just holding on to grudges, your face is going to look pretty stormy. But if your heart is full of that overflowing, world-sized love we've been talking about, it naturally creates a smiling, welcoming face. People are just naturally drawn to you.
Let's transition to our final section, cultivating your soul's garden. Okay, so we're shifting gears from overflowing water cups and bright flashlights to something you actually have to get your hands dirty for. Let this sink in for a second. How carefully we should cultivate the garden of the soul. The author wants you to think of your heart like a patch of soil. A garden doesn't just instantly grow into a beautiful park all by itself, right? If you just leave it alone, you get weeds. It needs someone to carefully tend it, water it, and pull those weeds out every single day. And what exactly are we trying to grow in this garden? Well, the text mentions these absolutely beautiful flowers that will bloom if we take care of our souls. We're talking pure thoughts, sweet actions, fragrant words of love, tenderness, and charity. And charity just means giving to others who need it. When you speak kindly to your parents or you share your absolute favorite snack, those aren't just tiny things. According to the devotional, those are literal flowers blooming right out of your soul. Let's move to and see how this builds into our daily routine. How do we actually water this garden? The text gives us 3 practical steps. Number 1, live in the atmosphere of Christ's love. Basically, surround yourself with good things. Number 2, breathe his love deeply. Take time to read your devotional, pray, and really soak in that huge love. And number 3, reflect its warmth around you. Take all that good stuff you breathed in and shine it right back out to the world. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hey, I'm only 10. I can't do massive, world-changing things yet. But the text has the perfect answer for that. It says we can show a ministry of love in the small, everyday duties of life. You don't need to fly across the globe to show this love. You show it when you do your daily chores without complaining. I know, it's hard. You show it by doing your homework, being a good listener, and being patient with your younger siblings. Those small, everyday duties, that is exactly where the superpower works best. Well, we have covered a lot of incredible concepts today, from overflowing cups to beaming sunshine to literally teaming up with angels. But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, super important question to think about. What kind of flowers are you growing in your garden today? Are you letting the weeds of anger and selfishness take over, or are you filling up with God's love so that hope, courage, and kindness can bloom everywhere you go? The choice is totally up to you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Now get out there and grow an amazing garden.